Hi there, my name is Becky Bolito, and I'm the post-secondary counselor at Vernon Hills High School. Tonight's presentation is designed for seniors and their parents and is hopefully going to give you an overview of the application process this fall, what you can be working on now and in the future, and then also what resources are available to you to get you through this process. So first off, seniors, congratulations. This is super exciting to be entering your senior year. We're all back in person. Things are feeling a little more normal. So congratulations on getting to this point. That being said, I know that I've talked to a lot of seniors who are also feeling some anxiety and stress, especially when thinking about the college process and all that needs to be done this fall, right? Some of the things that may be getting in the way are you haven't had the ability to visit colleges. Researching colleges online, there's a lot of information out there, but it can be difficult. And you may not be sure exactly what you're looking for. You may be feeling like there's so much to do and so little time. And this is all okay. And I want you to hopefully walk away from this presentation feeling more like you have a plan, and especially knowing what resources can help you through this, including myself and Ms. Fuentes, my assistant in the CRC. All right, so we are going to go over tips for a smooth application process, where to start and what to do next, and then go over in more detail the different parts of the application. All right, seniors. So while I have your attention, I'm going to scroll through these slides pretty fast. It's more to make sure that you have access to the different links that I'm presenting on the future slides. I want to make sure that every senior is connected to the CRC in every way possible. So first off, make sure that you are in the Google Classroom, and not just that you are a member there, but also that you are checking there frequently whenever you have questions or are looking for more information. Ms. Fuentes and I try and curate information we think would be helpful and then post it according to topics in the classwork section of our Google Classroom. So that's always a good place to start. Make sure that you are in our Remind group so that you get all of our notifications and perhaps individual messages if we need something from you. And then also make sure for parents and students that you have an active SCORE account. This is our main college search tool that we use at Vernon Hills High School. It has all of the historical data from previous classes, including acceptances with GPA and test score data. Tomorrow, we will send out invites to all accounts that have not been activated. If your account has been activated, but you forget your password, you can go through that process of forgot password. Students, you should be able to use your Google sign-in to access your account. There's also a new SCORE app that's free in the App Store that I think students will find very easy to use. And on this slide, there's a link to two different overviews, one for the student and one for parents. And if you go later to my slideshow, I do recommend playing those videos if you want a better understanding of some of the features within SCORE. We also have a website just for the CRC that we call the CRC FYI. And essentially, we try and house all the information that we have on Google Classroom on this site so that parents have better access to it. It's just another place to get information, but students, you should start in the Google Classroom. Parents, you should start with the CRC FYI. Okay, so let's talk about the process of applying to college. Very broadly, this is how it's going to work, okay? Students are going to apply online to colleges. They're going to make sure that the colleges have their transcript or grades, that if students are choosing to send test scores, that those are on file with the college. once all of your materials are sent, then you need to make sure you track the progress of those materials, verify that we have sent them through SCORE, and then on the college side, they will give students a portal login once they apply that allows them to track the when the college has received the different application parts. And then you receive an admission decision once your application has been reviewed, and they release those. Okay, so at this point in the year, it's really good that some of you have thought about different colleges that you're interested in, and now you need to refine that list and decide which places do you want to apply to. Okay, so there are a lot of different options out there. College, four-year college is not the only option. There's two-year colleges, there can be trade schools. Some students are already talking about maybe taking a gap year and doing some special experiences in the year between high school and college. There's always the military and then workforce too. Finding the fit is what we emphasize in my profession, and that comprises of financial fit, academic fit, social fit. And if you click on the link in the slideshow that says place less emphasis on rankings, there's a really nice video that was created by a nonprofit organization that is tied to Stanford's Graduate School of Education, explaining why rankings are not the best way to measure a college's fit for every student. You also want to make sure that you have at least one school on your list that you will likely be admitted to, okay? It's what we would call a slam dunk for some kids. For a lot of kids, that would be CLC. Schools that are a good match, meaning you fit their middle 50 percentile criteria. And then you may also include reach schools where no one knows, when they apply if they're going to be accepted or not. Those can be the Ivy Leagues, also schools like Northwestern, WashU. All of those schools are very selective and are reach schools for anyone who applies. And then you want to make sure that financially you have a school on your list where no matter that you feel like the cost is something that your family would be able to afford or work with. And again, a lot of times that's going to be CLC, which is a great option. Okay. Students who have an IEP or a 504 plan in the high school, there are going to be some additional considerations that can help you determine if a school is a good fit. You'll want to see what kind of support is offered by the college, and you should definitely get connected with each college's disability services office. You are entitled to your accommodations, but what that looks like at each college can be different. And so we are going to be advertising the Choices Fair, which is a college fair that's going to center on the services available to students with disabilities at a variety of colleges. It's slated for Tuesday, October 26th, and more information will be forthcoming. But if you click on the hyperlink for Choices Fair, that will link you to the website with more information. Okay, so getting organized is a really important part of this fall process. You have a lot of moving pieces when you're talking about college applications, and it doesn't matter to me what your organization method is. You just do what works for you, but you need to have a system. You're going to have a bunch of username and passwords and deadlines to keep track of. Use your phone if that is at all helpful to you. Like I mentioned, the SCORE app is a really great tool and can give you a nice visual of upcoming deadlines. I've included a link to a chart that if you're a spreadsheet type person, you could build off of and take which parts you like and stay organized that way. And then finally, when you are creating accounts for applications, we recommend using your personal email for those accounts and for all college communication, just because your school email will expire after you graduate. Okay, so there are two categories of application options, non-restrictive and restrictive. So non-restrictive options are regular decision, rolling admission, and early action. Sometimes it's also called priority. So regular decision, students are going to submit their app by a specified date and then receive the decision in a clearly stated period of time. Rolling admissions means college receive the applications and make decisions on them in the order that they are arriving at them, and they are releasing decisions throughout the admission cycle. Early action is the recommended deadline that we give because it is an early application that will basically mean students will hear back sooner about their admission decision. Restrictive deadlines include early decision and restrictive early action. Now, not all colleges offer restrictive deadlines. Early decision is basically when students are saying from the get-go that they will attend this college if they are accepted. They will withdraw all their other applications and they will be going, and you have to sign with your parents, a counselor, a document that binds you to that, okay? And that is before you would see your financial aid package. You're making that commitment. Restrictive early action is a little different. With early decision, you can only, I should have mentioned this earlier. Early decision, you only can apply early decision to one college. All right. Restrictive early action allows students to receive a decision early, but there may be restrictions on where else you can apply early or restrictive early action or early decision to within that. So restrictive early action can look a little different from college to college. And if any students have questions about a particular policy a school has, please let me know and we can talk it through. One thing is, restrictive early action is not binding. You're not committed to attending that school, but you are limited in how you can apply to other colleges during that application process. Okay, every fall we host a bunch of college reps who come to our school for one period in the fall, and it's a great chance for students to meet the representative who may be the person reading over applications, but also get information from that person, be able to ask questions in person of the colleges and get a better sense for whether or not a school is a good fit for them. They may Students may have to miss class to attend a college rep visit, but our teachers are very understanding that as long as the student is responsible for what they miss in class, teachers understand that this is a very important part of the process. And so students, I would encourage you to keep an eye in SCORE or the CRC FYI to see what colleges are visiting and to sign up for ones that you are interested in. Paying for college. This is a huge topic, and we will make other webinars available to families with more specifics in paying for college. But essentially know that the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid that every senior will need to fill out or sign a waiver in order to meet our graduation requirements. That is a state requirement. That paperwork does not become available until October 1st. And just know that as October 1st approaches, I will be sending out more information through email to senior families. Some schools will also ask for the CSS profile, which can be found on the College Board site. It's a little more intensive than the FAFSA, so students just make sure when you're looking over a school's requirements, note if they also require the CSS profile in addition to the FAFSA. Net price calculators can be found for every college, and essentially if you enter in your correct financial information, you should get a prediction of what you can expect to pay at each college. It's the best predictor available. They're not all as great of quality, like they all differ in how great they are from college to college, but it's the best tool that you have and can give you a rough estimate of what you can expect financially. Scholarships. So scholarships become more available as application season winds down. I will be giving a scholarship presentation in December to teach kids where to find scholarship opportunities and how to apply for those. A lot of schools are automatically considering students for scholarships with their applications for admission. The most money that students are getting for college is from the colleges themselves. So when you hear of students getting 10,000 scholarship every year, that's usually something that they were automatically considered for with their application and is something that comes directly from the college. We will continue to add to our scholarship database. Right now, there's not a lot of opportunities out there, but you can keep an eye on that for local, regional, and national scholarships. And then in December, we will open up our scholarship application that is comprised of scholarships only Vernon Hills High School students can receive. All right, seniors, this is just my little warning that, senior year is fun. You've been through a lot, but you need to resist senioritis as much as possible. Okay, senior year courses and grades do matter. If you're on a borderline admission, colleges may ask to see your 7th semester grades before deciding on your admission status. If you decide that you want to make changes to your schedule, let's say you want to drop an AP class and take the regular class instead, you will need to check with colleges you've applied to see if that would impact your admission decision. Okay. And acceptances into college are based on the assumed successful completion of your senior year coursework. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the different parts of the application. First of all, there's a few different ways that colleges may ask students to apply. Some colleges give students multiple methods of applying, and they do not have a preference for which application students complete. It's truly up to the student for what they think is best for them. So those 3 different ways would be: 1, some colleges have their own in-house applications that they have created and you could find on the college's website. The Common App is another one, and then Coalition is a lesser known application that is accepted by not as many schools as the Common App. Only one college uses the Coalition exclusively, meaning like if you're going to apply to University of Washington in Seattle, you will have to use the Coalition app. So the Common App is used by over 900 universities. You can send it to up to 20 colleges. Supplemental essays may be required, meaning that, every college might have a little something extra that they want you to do for them. But if more than one of your colleges accepts the Common App, there's a good chance that doing the Common App will be a time saver for you. And if you don't have any schools that are on the Common App or Coalition app, college-specific apps are available on each college's website. They make it pretty obvious how to get to that link, and just look for something that says apply or apply now. Okay, college essays or personal statements. When students are sitting down to brainstorm ideas about their essay, it can be a very overwhelming task, but I want to reassure you that no one can write this essay or personal statement better than you. You are the expert on yourself, and the thing you want to keep in mind is, what do you want colleges to know about you? Okay, they're going to get a bunch of listed information, but this is your chance to give extra insight into who you are as a person, as a student, as a leader, etc. A good rule of thumb when you are writing your essay is to keep your essay 1/3 about the essay topic and 2/3 about you. So, for example, if you were going to write about an event that made an impact on you, you would want to keep a description of the event to about 1/3 of your essay, and then 2/3 of your essay should be about that impact on you. Make sure you answer the question. I would say that's when kids come to talk to me about their essays and look them over, that is a common thing, that you need to make sure you answer all parts of the question. Some colleges will offer an optional essay. I put quotation marks around optional because really I recommend that you complete those essays to express a genuine interest in that college and show that you are a serious applicant. You want to make sure that you have someone look over your essay before you submit it. And I've included in the slideshow a couple of resources to get you started on your college essay. Transcripts. Okay, so every senior is being asked to attend a transcript or college app overview workshop, and a lot of seniors already have attended those. And we teach you what the process is for requesting any high school materials to be sent to a college that you apply to. Seniors are going to use a Google form to request those materials be sent after they apply to colleges. So the correct order would be submit your application, then look to how a college wants you to submit your transcript. Some colleges are going to ask you as students to self-report your transcript. And that means, finding a copy of your unofficial transcript. If you don't have one already saved to your score drive, please email Ms. Fuentes and she can take care of that for you. And basically, you will have to take semester by semester of your high school career and enter in course names, grades, credits, etc. Okay. Accuracy is really important for those. They're taking your word for it, and your official transcript at the end of senior year will be mailed to the school you say you're attending. So you need to make sure that you have it right. List courses exactly as they appear on your transcript. Letters of recommendation. Not every college needs a letter of recommendation. And if a college says they do require a letter of recommendation, a lot of times it's only one. There's only about 20-25 schools that require two. And we ask students to only ask for the number that is required. You should talk to your teacher in person, and you should have that conversation soon if you have not already. Teachers get bombarded with requests. You then fill out a Google form called the letter of recommendation request. And then after you do that, you're going to enter the request into SCORE. And there are more details and links within the slideshow to help you along with that process. Sometimes counselor letters of rec are required. Usually there's just a short form that colleges need counselors to fill out, and we automatically fill those forms out for every student anyhow, just in case. But if you think you need an actual letter of recommendation from your counselor, you need to talk to your counselor soon about that. In our transcript workshops, we have had students sign the FERPA, which stands for the Family Education Rights to Privacy Act. And basically, the FERPA is giving us permission, blanket permission, to send your transcript whenever you request us to send it to a school. There's also a portion of the FERPA that asks whether or not you waive your right to view your letters of recommendation. And colleges want you to say yes. I do waive my right. I do not need to read my letter of recommendation from my teacher because I know that they would only be saying good things. If a teacher agrees to write your letter of recommendation, they are not going to sabotage you. They are going to say great things about you, and you not viewing the letter in the college's mind, that gives it more validity. It keeps the integrity of the letter. So please say yes whenever you're signing your FERPA. Okay, so the SAT and ACT have been complicated since the pandemic began. A lot of students have not been able to take the SAT or ACT nationwide. We did have a pretty high percentage completion rate when students took the SAT last year. So hopefully you do have a score. But the majority of colleges are offering students the chance to not send test scores as part of the review process for their application. There are some colleges that still do require a test score. I've listed some of the more frequently applied to colleges on this slide, but you can also go to fairtest.org to see the status, the requirements of each college at this moment in time. So, our advice with regards to testing and whether or not you should apply test optional is that if you are a better student than test taker, stop worrying about the test at this point and consider applying test optional or test blind if your schools allow for that. It's more important that you would then strengthen other parts of your application, like your personal statement, your activities list. And then if you are thinking of retaking the test, I have linked a site that lists the registration deadlines and test dates for SAT and ACT. Some colleges are going to require a score, maybe not for admission, but for scholarships. So those are things to start researching now. I often help students decide whether or not they should send a score to a college. And there's some general advice that all of the college counselors in this area are giving students when making this decision. If you think your score reflects your ability, send it. Take a look at the college's middle 50 percentile of accepted scores. And if your score does not fall within that, if it falls below, then and they offer test optional, then we recommend applying test optional, not sending a test score. You can always come talk to me. You can reach out to the individual college admission reps to get advice on whether or not you should send your score. In SCORE, you can view the middle 50 percentile information under the college overview page. You can also see scattergrams. I've linked a video that will show you more details about how to find scattergrams in SCORE and how to interpret them. But essentially, the scattergram has historical admission data from just Vernon Hills kids, what GPAs and scores they had, and whether or not they were accepted or denied. If you are going to be submitting a test score, some colleges allow students to just type in their score on the honor system as part of their application. And then if a student decides to attend that college, they will have to send an official score report to confirm what they reported in their applications. Some colleges are going to require an official test score, which means that it's sent directly from the testing agency. So that's not something that Vernon Hills sends. That's something that you need to go onto either College Board or ACT's website and make sure that you either sent your score when you registered for the test, that you had identified schools to send your score to, or you will have to go through and pay to have your score sent. You can do that at any time. So you could go and do that now, even if you are not done with an application. So I always recommend just getting that out of the way so it's not a piece that's forgotten about later. Okay, so seniors, what are some things that you can be doing now that you've seen this video and perhaps you've attended a transcript workshop? You need to start on one application, okay? And just chip away, and it will start giving you some momentum as you complete one application. You will have had the experience of hunting down some information, and it'll be easier to apply to your next college. Sign up for college rep visits. If you are able to go on college visits, not every campus is offering college visits. Some have alternatives to like an in-person visit. They might have a recording that is a self-guided tour on campus. Find any online info sessions that are available for colleges. Every counselor will be sending an email to seniors asking them to schedule a check-in meeting. Be on the lookout for that, and sign up for a check-in meeting with your counselor. It's a good chance to get any questions answered and give them a sense for what you're thinking about in terms of your college applications. If college application fees, which can get pretty hefty, if those are going to be a financial burden for you, please talk to your counselor and you may qualify for a fee waiver. And then finally, just know that we are in the CRC every day here for you to answer questions. If you have a free period during the day, please use the CRC as a drop-in place. You can work on your homework, whatever you need to work on. It doesn't have to necessarily be college stuff, but Ms. Fuentes and I are around in our offices, and a lot of times can answer questions very quickly, and then you can move on to the next thing. It's a great place to just start your applications, continue making progress on them, and then just have, Ms. Fuentes and I available to you if you do need some extra help. If you would like a more in-depth appointment, one-on-one, I do have those appointments available on my online scheduler, and I've linked to it in the slideshow. It's also in the Google Classroom right at the top of the classwork section. You can sign up for a senior college meeting. I also have just 15-minute appointments. Sometimes kids just have like a list of quick questions, and we just plow right through them within 15 minutes. And then sometimes students want me to look over their essay, which I'm more than happy to do. I'm a former English teacher at Vernon Hills High School, so I do have that unique perspective of English teacher background, but also knowing what colleges are looking for. And you can sign up for an essay review appointment with that same link. Thank you so much. If you have watched this entire presentation, here are some ways you can stay in touch with the CRC beyond the ways mentioned earlier in the presentation. We are here to help, and send me an email, stop by, anything you need. We are here for you. Thanks, everyone.